healthier the soil, the healthier the plants produced. A healthy soil is soil that functions well. Soil functions include regulating water quality and quantity, sustaining plant and animal life, providing physical stability and support, and cycling nutrients. And key to all these soil functions are soil microbes. To learn more about soil microbes, we need to explore the nitrogen cycle and see how microbes improve the soil's function by cycling nutrients. Nitrogen is vital to plant health. A balanced soil composition with a healthy amount of nitrogen and carbon will support vigorous growth in plants, increase their dark green color, and increase crop yields. So nitrogen must be added to soil for plant health. There are several ways that nitrogen can get to soil. Plants such as peas, clovers, and beans naturally impart nitrogen to the soil. These kinds of plants are known as nitrogen fixers and have long been used in crop rotation to bring nitrogen from the atmosphere into the soil. Synthetic fertilizers also introduce nitrogen to the soil and are more convenient than either crop rotation or manure application. So why not just use synthetic fertilizers? To answer that question, first we need to understand the role soil microbes play in the nitrogen cycle and plant health. Nitrogen is vital to plant, animal, and human survival. Nitrogen is so important because proteins are made up of amino acids, and amino acids use lots of nitrogen. But nitrogen is almost impossible to use in its pure form. Nitrogen is abundant on Earth, constituting 78% of the Earth's atmosphere. But atmospheric nitrogen has a very strong triple bond shared between two nitrogen atoms that is difficult to break. Plants play a central role in animal and human nitrogen intake. Animals acquire nitrogen by eating plants, and humans acquire nitrogen when eating plants or animals. But plants cannot ingest nitrogen from the air. Plants need the triple bond between two nitrogen atoms broken to get at the pieces of nitrogen left over in more easily utilized forms of nitrogen. The solution? Microorganisms. Silver bacteria and blue algae can convert nitrogen into a usable form. This process is called nitrogen fixation. Certain bacteria eat the nitrogen and convert it into ammonium. Then other kinds of bacteria eat the ammonium and convert it into nitrite. Then yet another kind of bacteria eat the nitrite and convert it into nitrate. This process is called nitrification. Now with these new forms of nitrogen available in the soil, plants can absorb them through their root system. This is known as nitrogen assimilation. Dead plant material as well as decomposing animals also contain nitrogen. Worms, insects, and other microbes in the soil bring this nitrogen back to the soil by eating dead plants and animals. They use some of the nitrogen in them to transform what is left from organic forms of nitrogen present in plant and animal proteins back into ammonium. The right amount of nitrogen is one of the main components to soil health, but too much nitrogen in the soil leads to leaching and volatilization, which is when ammonium nitrogen becomes gaseous and returns to the atmosphere. And when there is too little oxygen in the soil, anaerobic bacteria turn nitrates back into nitrogen gases. So the take-home is nitrogen is vital to the soil and to microorganisms' role in nitrogen fixation and assimilation. Now let's turn back to synthetic fertilizer. Synthetic fertilizer can introduce nitrogen to the soil, which plants need. So what's the problem? Because the nitrogen cycle is driven by microbes, the soil's function for nutrient cycling works best when the soil microbial ecology is large and diverse. To achieve this, we need to consider what other needs soil microbes have beyond nitrogen. This is where manure comes in. Manure plays an important role in soil health and plant growth, one synthetic fertilizers cannot replicate. Both manure and synthetic fertilizers introduce nitrogen to the soil, but applying manure to fields additionally introduces carbon, the fundamental building block of all living cells, including soil microbes. Manure also adds important micronutrients required by both crops and the microbes living in soil to work their magic for soil health. Manure application even produces an increasing return in the soil beyond its initial application by jump-starting soil microbial populations, which can improve soil functions, including nutrient cycling for years to come. Manure works with nature to create a self-sustaining ecosystem and natural nutrient production.